So Shabbat Shalom. Welcome. We'll get started with Yedi Nefesh. Yedi Nefesh. Oh, that should be better. Yeah. Well, I guess, it's talking right now, but it's the. Thank you for the reminder. Yedi Shabbat Shalom. Welcome. We'll continue with Lachuna Ranana as we look back on all that we've accomplished this week to be able to bring us to a place of giving thanks. We continue with Lachuna Ranana. Lachuna Ranana Adonai Next we'll continue with Or Zakua Latzadik. Or Zakua Latzadik Ulei Shrelev Simcha Or Zakua Latzadik Ulei Shrelev Simcha Simchu Tzadikim Adonai Yehudu Ezecha Pucho We'll rise as we continue with Psalm 29 as we think about the sort of last chaotic moments, fitting everything in before the end of the week. We continue. Psalm 29. Mizmor leDavid, Kavod Adonai b'Nelim, Kavod Adonai Kavod Adonai, Kavod Adonai Kedosh Shema, Rishon Kavod Adonai v'Adam Kodesh, Kol Adonai Ha'el Hamayim, Elam Kavod Yireh, Adonai Hayim Adim, Kol Adonai Bakoa, Kol Adonai Behadai, Kol Adonai Shomer Harazim, V'Shader Adonai Yotazer Olamim, Vayakitem Elohecha Lebanon, Esirion, Bemo, Emreim, Kol Adonai Noter Kodesh, Kol Adonai Yafir Libai, Yafir Adonai Libai Kodesh, Kol Adonai Yefod Elai Adon, Vayefetzon, Ye'avon, Ye'avon, V'mechadon, Ulo, 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 V'mechadon, Adonai Amavu Yashar, V'shem Adonai Melech Le'olam, Adonai Yavon Yitei, Adonai Yevarach, Amo V'Shalom. So we'll continue now with Lecha Dodi as we welcome the sense of peace of Shabbat. Lecha Dodi, Mikrat Hadav, Erev Shabbat, Lecha Lecha, Shamon Zafon, Edivocha Mishmianu, El HaMeyuchad Adonai, So we'll continue with Shalom Rav, our prayer for peace. Shalom Rav Yisrael Kasim Shalom Rav Yisrael Kasim Yatam Echadon Lechol Hashem Yatam Echadon Shalom, Shalom Yisrael Kasim Shalom Yisrael Kasim Shalom So Shabbat Shalom. Welcome. Thank you for everyone for joining. And so this week in our Torah reading, we begin Parshat Shemot, beginning the book of Exodus. And so as we then begin our few weeks of the Exodus story, of seeing Moses really stand face to face with Pharaoh, the story is really painting Pharaoh as not being a good guy. But I think when we look at some of the details in this week's Torah reading, we're able to see that not only is it just painting Pharaoh as being this man, too full of his own power, but we also see that it's coming with the fact that he just also wasn't very good at his job. This week we see that when Moses first confronts Pharaoh, bringing God's word to let the Israelites go, Pharaoh responds by making the job of the Israelites harder, by refusing to give them the straw that they need to make bricks, making the Israelites go get it themselves, while then also, demanding that they make the same number of bricks. So, really doubling the work while expecting the same output. And we see that in response, the Israelites are not able to do it. And so the Egyptian taskmasters, then begin attacking and beating the Israelite slaves. And we see that essentially the Israelite leaders, come before Pharaoh and, ask what's going on. Which shows that even as Pharaoh gave this message, that it wasn't communicated well, that the Israelites didn't realize the way, that their work was increasing. And it was only when they failed and received the punishment that they were able to learn of the way that things had changed. And we can really hear and see the surprise at least through one of the comments of Ovadia Sforno, one of the Italian commentators, that when the Israelites go before Pharaoh and ask, what is happening that we're receiving this punishment, he reads in that this call and this claim, that even as the Israelites are in this terrible condition, even as they are our slaves, that they are still under the control and influence of Pharaoh, and that they should be receiving equal protection. But we see the way that doesn't work. And so then even when Pharaoh responds to the Israelites, he's even blaming what's going on the wrong reasons. That he's saying that the only reason that they're asking to go free, that they're asking for time to be able to worship their God, is because that they're not busy enough and they're lazy. Where Pharaoh is not listening to them, of knowing that even as someone's working, that they need to have time for themselves. That their identity is going to be more than their job, and that they need to be able to have that opportunity to really be who they are. And so Pharaoh, in missing all of this, sets up a lot of the damage that will ensue in the next few weeks as we read the story of the plagues. And so I think we can compare, this experience of trying to sort of change the Israelites' behavior to what God does with Moses. At the beginning of our Torah reading, we see that Moses comes back from the burning bush, asks permission to leave from Jethro, his father-in-law. We have the very bizarre instance of the Chatam Dam, of this strange circumcision scene. But then we also read how God tells Aaron to go and meet Moses, and how Moses then goes to the mountain of God around Mount Sinai in order to join Moses on his way back. And so the rabbis, in seeing all these small details, argue that this is showing that Moses was hesitating to fulfill his mission. That even as God gave Moses the mission to go to Pharaoh, gave him assurance that it would ultimately be successful, gave him the signs so that the Israelites would believe him, we still see that Moses is scared and he's hesitating. And so rather than bringing on this ultimate sense of punishment, of continuing a sense of anger, we see that instead God sends Aaron in a very specific way. That he sends Aaron in order to listen. That Moses then tells Aaron everything, essentially what's going to happen and the plan. And so that Aaron is there to support and listen and to be able to respond to where Moses was nervous to go, rather than, as we saw with Pharaoh, of essentially asserting what they needed to do. And it's showing that Aaron is able to provide that support rather than the punishment for not listening. And so it's a reminder that in our own lives, that as we're seeing things happening around us, for the good or for the bad, that one of the ways we're able to then enter into it and to perhaps change or influence is beginning by listening. That we want to be like, we want to be in the position of Moses, where when we are struggling, that we know that the people around us are there to listen, to be able to understand, and from there being able to find the way forward in creating the support that we need. And so that we're able to then use that support in order to improve ourselves. So of course, as we then are doing this on January 17th, as we had, I think, the ups and downs this week of hearing the news that Israel and Hamas have agreed to a deal to release the hostages, it is something that is bringing a lot of emotions. That on the one hand, it's bringing a sense of hope that many of the families will be able to be reunited with their loved ones again after more than a year of them being held hostage. Of course, it will bring mourning and tragedy as we learn about the fate of the way that many of hostages have died in captivity. And of course, there's the larger questions, of the way that, is this deal something that should have happened far sooner? Is it something that isn't going far enough? Is it something that is, essentially, missing and creating security issues down the line? That all of those emotions are there. And that when we do open our ears and listen, we're able to see pieces of all of it. And sometimes what it means to be able to show that sense of leadership is being able to hear that overwhelming voice. But of course, in a moment like this, when we're hearing many of those conflicting images, as Israeli society has parts that are, split and concerned, that we still need to be able to then connect back to our values and to understand that there's going to be a difference between a disagreement and something that's pushed through by force. And so I think as we're able to see the reaction and what will happen over the coming weeks, it's the hope then where we're able to see the way that this is seeming to reflect the desire of so much of Israeli society to put forward their relationships, their connections first, to see the hostages brought home, and that even as there will be risks that are down the road, I will then have to face them as they happen, and to be able to hold on to our values that we need to care for one another. And so we'll continue with our prayer Achenu, that we may see, starting on Sunday, the beginning of the hostages coming home. And we hope that in these final days and in the ensuing weeks, that they're able to come home with safety. We continue with Achenu. Achenu, Kovet Yisrael. Achenu, Kovet Yisrael. Anatunim b'tzava, b'tzava u'vashivya, ha'omnim b'vaya u'v'vaya v'asha. Amahadon rachem, rachem alechem yotzia, b'tzava, continue with Misha Berach, our prayer for those in need of both physical and spiritual healing. Misha Berach, Avotenu, for Habracha, Leimotenu, may the source of strength, bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage, make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Yishaberach imotenu, mekor habracha, avotenu, bless those in need of healing, with refuah shalema. So this week in our Har'el community, we are remembering Perry Lewis, mother of Debbie Malone, Basha Epstein, mother of Samuel Epstein, Isidore Katzen, father of Myrna Epstein, Patricia Merav, mother of Perry Merav, Charlotte Berkman, niece of Raziel Ross, Emmanuel Bach, father of Kayla Soloway, Arnold Hoffman, father of Dennis Hoffman, Samuel Valance, brother-in-law of Muriel Valance, Nguita Manuel Friedenzone, mother of Cecilia Ergas. We pray that the memory may be for a blessing. We continue evoking the end of Mourner's Kaddish with Oseh Shalom. Oseh Shalom Elamah, Yaseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al Kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al Kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al Kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al Kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al Kol Yisrael. V'yimeru v'yimeru, Amen. Also, Shabbat Shalom. Thank you for joining. So services tomorrow will be at 10 a.m. And this week we're celebrating the Bat Mitzvah of Alvina Valente, and so after services there'll be a Kiddush sponsored by the Zeldis Valente family in celebration. And then on Sunday, January 19th at 2 p.m. At the City Hall, not at the Art Gallery. We still haven't changed that in the email, but it is different. There'll be the rally, in some ways a very different tone this week, to bring attention for the plight of the hostages. And then also, we do need some more drivers for the JFS Food Hub. So the dates went out in Har'el this week, and so you can sign up there. Looking further ahead, next Friday night, we'll be having our next Kabbalat Shabbat dinner, or Kabbalat Shabbat and dinner. This week it'll be Indian food, so that'll be Friday, January 24th at 6 p.m. Sasha K is going to be leading Friday night services, and we'll be leading more of the in-person Friday night services afterwards. Then looking further ahead, on Sunday, January 26th at 11 a.m. will be a session called More Than Kiddush, about helping to figure out how you're able to make Shabbat a meaningful time that brings your family together, focused on making it meaningful for kids. And then 2 sisterhood events coming up. There'll be a talk on Women's Healthy Heart, Monday, February 3rd at 7 p.m. That'll be on Zoom. And also the next book club will be Monday, February 24th at 7 p.m. Reading Cast by Isabel Wilkerson, moderated by Marilyn Chodam. So that's going on, and we'll conclude with Vishamru and our grape juice and challah. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael ve'ha Shabbat v'asodeta Shabbat v'dorotam b'brit olam b'ni u'mimin Yisrael oti le'olam oti le'olam Oti le'olam Vishamru b'nei Yisrael ve'ha Shabbat v'asod et ha-Shabbat v'dorotam b'brit olam Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz Vishamru b'nei Yisrael Shabbat, Asod et ha-Shabbat, v'dorotam b'brit olam. Uvayom hashvi Shabbat v'yinafash, Shabbat v'yinafash, Shabbat v'yinafash. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael ha-Shabbat, Asod et ha-Shabbat, v'dorotam b'brit olam. Baruch Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. So step aside to wash my hands. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz.